Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your March 2018 mid-month general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here. Welcome to any newcomers, and as always, thank you for all of your likes, shares, subscribes, and for taking the time to send in your comments and your feedback and your support. Always a thank you to my regular clients out there and my new clients. You guys keep me pretty busy and occupied with personal one-on-one readings. It's an honor and a pleasure always to read for you. It's a pleasure to read for all of you, really. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About button for more information and my contact details. You'll also find that attached to the description of all the videos I post. I do a wide variety of readings in all main areas of life, including 6 and 12-month overviews and a lot of different stuff. Turnaround time for personal readings is pretty fast. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So anywhere from a few days, if I get cancellations and reschedules, which I often do, upwards of 2 weeks, but almost always within a 2-week period of time or so, we can set up a reading for you, live or recorded. So you'll find my contact info on how to do that. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. For those of you who aren't looking for the traditional, more in-depth, intensive readings, maybe you just have a quick question or two, or you have a decision you need to make on the fly, you can connect with me more quickly on the smartphone app Instantgo. Under Irish Gypsy. You'll also find that with my contact details. They have a one question, one answer option, or you can open it up for a short little reading via text. They have an audio phone option and a video chat option too. This is for if you're not looking for the traditional in-depth complex reading, you just want a quick, like a quick answer to a quick question or something simple, a decision you need to make quickly. So you can check that out as well. So this reading is for the air sign of Aquarius, our lovely water bearers, for the remainder of March 2018. I'm recording these in the second week of March. This is exploring, time being fluid always, of course, exploring the remainder of March, the last couple of weeks. If you know your rising and your moon sign, try to watch those videos as well. That can give you additional insight and clarification, or one of them may resonate a little more predictably for you than your sun sign sometimes. Okay, Aquarius, let's see what's in store for you for the remainder of March. We have the Lovers, followed by the Ten of Swords, the Four of Swords, followed by the Two of Wands, and from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and advice or guidance is Judgment. Looks pretty significant and profound over the remainder of March 2018, Aquarius. You have two major arcana cards, the Lovers and Judgment. Let me just take a look here. Okay, Aquarius. It looks like a bit of a challenging time for you. I feel like for a lot of you, the focus is on needing to make a pretty important decision or trying to figure out what's the right thing to do, what's the best way to go, what's the best decision to make in regards to a relationship issue. The nature of this relationship, because it's a general reading, is going to vary. I mean, there's thousands of you watching, so of course it's going to, the specifics and details are going to vary because everybody's individual, different lives. For some of you it may resonate in this area, for some of you it may resonate in others. It looks like it's definitely centered around relationship. I'm not getting much for work and career, although you can translate that energy. The energy and advice always remains the same. The nature of this relationship, you need to make a significant decision about it. You're working through it for the remainder of March. It may vary. For some of you, it may be like a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a primary partner in the love and romance arena. For others of you, it could be like a best friend, a close family member. It could even be you know, in a job situation, although I'm not really feeling that here. But, you know, it always could be, because it looks like there's been some betrayal, or you feel betrayed, or the person on the other side of the relationship feels betrayed. I mean, it could be that you know, maybe did something. The Lovers, because it's the Lovers and the Ten of Swords that came out first for around the middle of March or so. The Lovers is a major arcana card, and it typically can represent a significant relationship, even a soulmate relationship, or a very passionate relationship or connection. It often represents needing to make a choice that's going to significantly affect a primary relationship or relationships, because sometimes in the early tarot decks this was not called the Lovers, it was called the Choice, and it often depicted a man standing in front of two women, the implication being that a significant choice was was needing to be made, which would strongly affect the lives of everyone involved. I mean, for some of you it could be that too, maybe needing to choose between two people. I'm not feeling that so much for most of you either. I think it's about what to do about a relationship in which you have been betrayed, or feel like you have been betrayed, or the other person feels like they have been, because the Lovers is accompanied by the Ten of Swords, which is often, it's often considered the, you know, the betrayal card, the stabbed in the back card, feeling a sense of deep, unexpected disappointment. Maybe you've been taken advantage of, or kind of that kicked while you're down kind of feeling, but feeling like it was unexpected and came out of nowhere, because if you're stabbed in the back, you don't see it coming, right? The positive aspect of this is that it's a 10. 10s in the tarot represent the end of a cycle, something coming to an end. It doesn't go beyond that. The worst has already happened. It's not going to happen again. Whatever happened to put this man or woman face down on the ground, it looks like it was pretty challenging, or pretty painful, or traumatic even, but it's done, it's over. You can see that there is a healing light shining through these swords. Swords represent thoughts and ideas and belief systems too, because swords is air energy, so it's all about what goes on up in our heads, and what we believe and how we see things is all, it defines how we relate, communicate, and see the world and people in the world. So thoughts and ideas and belief systems. There's a healing light shining through these. It's time for the healing to begin. It's time for him to kind of get up, brush himself off. You can see that the sun is rising in the background, a new day is dawning, and the animals are beginning to return to the scene. So whatever terribly challenging thing put this person on the ground, it is over, and it's time to start healing. So it does represent cycles coming to an end, maybe in a sudden, unexpected, or painful sort of way. So it looks like there's a decision that needs to be made, perhaps about a betrayal from a pretty significant relationship in your life, regardless of the nature of that relationship, which will vary because this is a general reading. A decision needs to be made. How are you going to deal with this? How are you going to handle it? Someone has hurt you, or you've hurt someone else. What is to be done? Kind of working through that. Now, in the last week or so, at or towards the end of March 2018, we have the Four of Swords and the Two of Wands. I don't think, Aquarius, that most of you are meant to be making a decision quickly. I feel like the last couple of weeks of March, you're being called upon to be careful and think. I mean, you know, it can be difficult not to react spontaneously to whatever caused this. But you're being asked to not react, be reactive, or to be spontaneous and impulsive. The Four of Swords is a card of withdrawal, temporary withdrawal. I say temporary because this man is a soldier. It looks like he's taking a break from battle, because he's still girded. He's still wearing all of his armor. He's taken his helmet off, and he's withdrawn because he needs to take a break. Tired, worn out, exhausted, maybe needing to go within and seek out a little bit of answer or a different perspective. You can see that these swords, which are representative of the battle he's been fighting, or whatever conflict it is, are still there, still pointing at him. His own sword, His own weapon is lying close by his hand should he need it. But for the time being, he's not engaged. It's a temporary withdrawal because if he was done, this armor would be off. So it's about taking a step back, withdrawing from conflict, taking a step back from whatever this situation is, removing yourself, not making any spontaneous or hasty decisions, as difficult as it might be. Be trying to get a different perspective and just kind of take some time off. You need to get some clarity and some insight, and that often does not happen while we're right in the middle of things. We need to kind of step back and think about things, because this is, again, sword. So this is, you know, what goes on up in here. Now it's clarified and accompanied by the Two of Wands. Wands is fire energy, and in the tarot it's usually it's fiery, it's action oriented, it's all about change, movement, action, power. It's usually forward looking, because it's about, because the energy of fire is creating energy, it's creative energy, it's the energy of creation, building, manifesting, growing things. So it's very much a movement oriented, action oriented energy. So the Two of Wands is a card about another card. It's a card about being at a crossroads, needing to make a choice, a decision, which we already know. So he's trying to figure out which path to take. Which path do I take? How do I deal with this? What path do I take? And you're taking time out to do this, taking a step back to get more perspective, some clarity on this. The key to choosing the right path in the Two of Wands is in long-term thinking and planning. This isn't looking down the road. So you have to know what your end goal is. What do you want? It's impossible to plan and pack for a trip or a journey which you don't have an end destination in mind, because how do you know what to pack, or how much of what to pack, or what to take with you, or how to get there? You know, you've got to have some kind of end destination. This is about, what do I want ultimately in relationships, which I think for the majority of you this is. What kind of a relationship do I want? What's my ideal relationship? Am I the kind of person that I want to seek out? Number one, I mean, we're like, okay, we're often like, I want this kind of person. This would be the perfect person for me. Are you also that person? Because if not, you're not going to be a very good match for them, and vice versa. In relationships, this is about, what do I really want ultimately? If you're in a relationship and there's some issue in here, pretty important, pretty significant, somebody feels betrayed and hurt. Is this salvageable? What do you really want from this relationship? Where do you want this relationship to culminate in a positive, ideal way? What's the best possible outcome for this relationship? And what kind of relationship do you want to be in ultimately? Do you want to find yourself in 10 years, 15 years from now? If the relationship that you're in is not that, does it have to, because of whatever's going on, does it have the possibility of culminating in that? Can there be reconciliation, healing, renewal of love, of trust, of, you know, is that possible? If it is, and you're both on the same page, then choose that path. If not, then you choose the other path. But it requires some contemplation and some clear thinking. You can't do that when you're in the heat of the emotion of whatever it is this hurt has been, or betrayal has been, regardless on which side it is. So it's about people taking a step back and kind of thinking, what do I want out of this long term? Is it possible to do that with what's facing us? Is it possible? What about another path? What would that path look like? You know, so it's about thinking and taking a step back, getting a different perspective, and thinking long term rather than in the moment, even though in the moment could be quite challenging. It is not a time to be reactive, because whatever path you choose, whatever actions you set into motion, you're not going to be able to come back from. It's going to set the stage for something for quite some time to come. Which is what your overall energy and guidance represents. Judgment. Judgment is a call to action. There is definitely a choice that needs to be made here. Definitely action that needs to be taken, but it needs to be careful, considered, contemplative action. You need to have considered all the pros, all the cons of each possible path before you make a choice, before you take action, before you set something in motion which you might regret but not be able to take back later. Because judgment has that air of finality. Whatever you set, you need to stick with that. So it means that you need to be very, very careful before you choose that specific path. And that's what the energy and guidance for the last couple of weeks of March is focused on, Aquarius. regardless of how the details of it play out in your life, that energy and that guidance remains the same, whether it's a love and romance situation, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, close family member, or even a job situation of some kind. If at all possible, do not make this decision within the next couple of weeks. Wait until you maybe get into April, if possible. If it's not possible for you to wait that long and you need to make a decision about it, I mean, have to, not want to, but you can't wait that long. If it's something that, you know, still take a step back, get away for a day or something and really kind of think about it and try to, we can't forget our emotions, but try to set them aside a little bit, which is what distance can kind of create, a little bit of breathing space so we can see a little more clearly and get a little bit of a better perspective, a more realistic perspective that isn't clouded so much by the heat of the moment, by emotions. So Aquarius, that pretty much sums up your March 2018 mid-month general readings. I hope that you have found it useful and helpful. A contemplative couple of weeks. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage, click on the About button for more information. You can also find that same information and contact details attached to the description of all my videos. Email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I'll get back in touch with you within the same day or the first 24 hours with some more information. For those of you who are not looking for the traditional in-depth readings, you're looking for just a quick connection for a fast answer to a quick question or a fast decision you need to make, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That info is also with the rest of my info. So either way, I hope to hear from you or see you soon. I will see you all actually in a couple of weeks for the April 2018 general readings. And until then, as always, Aquarius, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life and much wisdom and insight over the next few weeks. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.